What's going on, Dragon Ball fans? Welcome back to another Dragon Ball fan manga breakdown review, also for their own personal usage, as for many years now I've been reviewing and introducing all kinds of Dragon Ball, picking up on incredible stories and concepts such as Dragon Ball AF, Dragon Ball Legendary, Dragon Ball New Age, Dragon Ball X, and many others. Then feel free to check out the Dragon Ball fan manga playlist in the description box for more videos such as this, as right now we are going to be diving into a brand new manga chapter as before when a new video is posted onto this channel, as we kick off Dragon Ball Multiverse manga chapter number 40 with Prince Vegeta having to encounter one of the Suforians and having to state, "So you're the Tuffle that annihilated the Saiyans of his universe," with the Tuffle having to respond by as Vegeta states, "Oh, you're in for some trouble then. I finished off the person who killed all of my universe's Saiyans myself," as the Tuffle replies by stating, "Oh, are you talking about this one and his little family?" as he immediately creates copies of Frieza, Cooler, and King Cold. So Vegeta not only acknowledges that he was able to kill Frieza in his universe, but also he seems to be very proud that this specific Suforian managed to actually wipe out his own people in his timeline, because Vegeta doesn't seem to hate, as the other one says, "No, that Raichi guy just made them all appear. Well, the energy that created them is just emanating from the ball that he's sitting on, so Raichi entered all three of these fighters are in fact legal," as Raichi goes on to state, "Avenge yourselves." As Vegeta transforms into a Super Saiyan 2, he goes on to state, "Is that a joke? I surpassed all of these fools a long time ago," and the first person to swing at Vegeta is Cooler, and he misses. And quickly, without a moment's notice, Vegeta reappears by punching. I personally would have loved to see what it would have been like to see a final form King Cold battle against the Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, as Frieza and Cooler, keep in mind, those aren't the ridiculous, it's just an illusion, making the insinuation that Frieza did in fact manage. Cooler tells Frieza not a chance, so keep on hoping, as Raichi states, "My ghosts are stronger than the originals, plus they can control their power better and cooperate too, which they both work as a fantastic team, all at my command." As Cooler and Frieza combine their powers, they shoot off a massive energy blast towards Vegeta's direction, and once more Vegeta is not concerned at all, but instead once more he goes on to state, "Funny," sticks his hand out and completely fires back at Cooler and Frieza. As Vegeta engages in a beam struggle, he goes on to taunt him by stating, "Is that all you got? Final Gallic Cannon," as he unleashes a blast so strong that impressively enough it takes down both Cooler and Frieza with just one simple shot. And as Frieza and Cooler disappear, Vegeta goes on to, "Perhaps I can order a, carte per se? I could wipe out anybody," as Raichi states, "You, who annihilated so many people, can you do this Saiyan army by himself?" And Vegeta is shocked. He sees his father, including Ozaru's. There must be at least 25 to 30 Saiyans that Raichi immediately summoned, and Vegeta is shocked. King Vegeta goes on to state, "My son." His cousin states, "You haven't forgotten your cousin, have you, little prince?" While he and Gohan begin to talk on the side, Gohan goes on to state, "Wait, is that Broly too?" As Goku says, "Wait, you don't think seriously that guy can just copy the power of," states, "Lucky. I'd love to have a chance to get revenge on all those guys." As Kakarot states, "Me too. I want to kill some Saiyans." As Nappa states, "Come on, you don't even know them." As Kakarot states, "I don't give a damn. I just want to, and that's that." As Vegeta is utterly, because as he's blasting holes in people, he's laughing, as out of nowhere someone grabs his shoulder. Before they can even finish, Vegeta blows the heads off of Raditz and Nappa, and then immediately grabs Kakarot by the throat and stating, You the psycho, you the bore, you the walking disaster," as he slams his, well, looks like that version of Vegeta still hates his teammate. Well, thank God you've changed since then. Trunks looks on over to 16, he goes on to state, "Hey, if you killed Goku like this one, would your programming be satisfied with that?" As 16 states, "No, I can see clearly that this is an illusion." As Vegeta pummels Kakarot into a bloody pulp, he goes on to state, "Ah, already? Very well, let's continue," as the slaughter progresses, and Vegeta, although he knows that these are illusions, he's having such a great time killing off his own people because he deems it to where his own people, bunch of losers, farewell to the worthless, and lets out a blast so strong that we see over out in the distance, it wipes out every single individual, it wipes out all of the Ozarus, all of the Saiyans that Raichi had summoned are basically at this point over and done with. They're dead, they're gone, all that's left is a map. He can transform? Oh man, it'll start all over again. And Vegeta looks up and forms further into the legendary Super Saiyan. As Raichi states, when someone dies a violent death, my Hachiac machine adapts their essence. Their might and their powers are the same. This Broly is also invincible, and his strength is constantly full. What I see here is only a Super Saiyan level 1. A very charges on in. To our surprise, Vegeta punches a hole right through